Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to In the Huddle, the Courier Times and the Intelligencer's weekly preview of the high school football schedule ahead. I'm Kevin Cooney, along with Drew Markle. Drew is the football writer at the Intel. I'm the football writer at the Courier Times, and we had a look ahead to Week 3, and obviously the big game, Drew, this week. North Penn 2-0, St. Joe's Prep 2-0. Some people viewing this as a preview possibly of the Eastern Final in Quad A. How do you feel?
Well, Kev, I have to agree with you there. You look at the teams they've played already. You know, North Penn goes up the first weekend and beats Liberty, District 11 Power. Prep goes up to District 11 and knocks off Parkland, another District 11 Power. Those four teams are considered, pretty much the cream of the crop. So now you have, Prep and North Penn going at it, 1-2 in a lot of people's polls. So I give North Penn a lot of credit and Prep for the preseason schedules they're playing because, it's great for the fans.
And I think the one thing in taking out of this is not a Prep team that everybody feels is their best team that they've had in the last 5-6 years.
I disagree to that. The preseason, though, they were still pretty well regarded considering they're coming to PLAA for the first time. Maybe it was reputation, but I think they're proving that the people who had them up pretty high were. But they also
lost a lot of players from last year. Lost some skill position guys. Okay, North Penn had their skill position guys back. Probably not as good along the line as they've been the last couple of years. So, but is this a sign that maybe the East is down as a whole? That these two are consensus 1 and 2 going forward in the week 3?
I love these conspiracy theory guys like yourself who throw these things out. I don't buy the East-West thing. I think it's just some years some teams are good, some are bad. But in North Penn and Prep, either one is going to represent, if they make it that far, the eastern part of the state very well, come December.
Represented well against Gateway, who'll probably win by 25 or 30.
Well, I don't know. A few years ago, they told us that Woodland Hills was going to light up the Chamonix.
That was 7 years ago.
Yeah, come on. What I put up with. All right, moving on. That is a great game with North Penn and Prep. A lot of folks looking forward to it, but kind of flying a bit on the radar, Kev, is Council Rock South. Decent last year. Again, they lost some key components, but they started out pretty well. They're 2-0. The confidence thing is there. What's your take?
I think the one thing I'm looking at is the way they're running the football. A lot of people wondered if they would be able to replace Ryan Fairs as their running back. They have. The offensive line has been tremendous. Go on the road, you win 2 road games the way they have. Now they'll get Commonwealth League and a team they probably should be able to take care of. You're looking at 3-0 going against Pennsbury next week in what could be a battle for first place in the National Conference right off the bat, obviously. I mean, it's the first conference game, but they'll be the 2-3-0 teams, I think, in the conference. And you look at the way the program has progressed. 7 wins in a row now, and you don't normally see a carryover from one season to the next. Right. I think what you've seen is a carryover with South. And you've seen a team that has gained confidence each and every week. If this keeps going, they're a playoff team at this point. I mean, they're as good as anybody in the district right now.
You've got to think to get into the playoffs. You can probably lose 3 games if you don't.
Probably
if you lose the right ones,
right,
and still get in. And once you're in, then that's really all that matters. But no, I give them credit. It's called building a program.
Another pair of teams that have started the year 2-0. Are Pembridge and Quakertown, both considered by many to be in the middle to the bottom of the Continental Conference. And Drew, now are we looking at a situation where they can progressively get better through the year and maybe talk about them as a 6-7 win team at the end of the year?
I think it's possible. I like what Randy Cuthbert's doing at Pembridge. He's got a young team. He's taken a lot of heat in that area for a lot of different things, and I think some are unfounded. Now he has them off to a 2-0 start. They had a huge win on opening night in triple overtime against Wood. And, you can't put a price on that, confidence-wise for those kids. Then they go over to Quakertown. They win 1 game a year ago. And the program is in the dumps. And all of a sudden, they're 2-0. They've got some nice parts. And their confidence is sky high. Now, you look at a team that many thought would be 2-0 in the Chamonix. They open up with a 1-point loss to Souderton. Then they come back last week against 0-2 Hatboro Horsham now. And they win 24-14, but it was hard to call it a convincing win. What is your take, Kev? on the Chamonix is perennial power, and then they're kind of scraping by a little bit.
I think what we're seeing is a team that's still trying to find itself. I mean, you saw the shift last week to Dean at running back from Quillen Arnold. Brian Titus is a young quarterback in a sense where he's never been a starter. You're seeing him kind of try to find his way and getting through the first couple game jitters.
Right.
I think what you're seeing is, as time goes on, they will improve. The question is, are they a district or a state power at this point? Not the way they're playing. But does that mean they won't be by Halloween night against Pennsbury? I don't know. I think right now they're the big unknown in this whole picture. If they progress, and especially behind that line, they'll be very good.
Yes.
But if the skill position players have got to get better than they are right now.
But as much as it pains me to agree with you, I do in this case, because talking with Mark Schmidt after the game, he knows. He goes, we're getting there, and it's just a matter of working a few things out.
One thing we've noticed when we've gone over the schedule here for week 3 is the amount of games that are straight out of the hostess factory. If you look at some of these schedules, they are filled with cupcake games, and we're not going to name names, but you know who you are.
We could name cupcakes.
We could name cupcakes.
We're both familiar with those.
Some more so than others. Drew, to me, I think you do your team. I understand teams wanting to keep their teams healthy going into their league season and maybe scheduling a little bit down in class.
Right.
But some of these games are just ridiculous, aren't they?
They absolutely are. And I wonder what the thought process. The coaches who have scheduled games against teams that they know they can beat are doing it they'll give you the we want to stay healthy reasons. And you have teams that are playing, tough, top-notch competition that when you punch them in the mouth, they're going to punch you back. And those coaches are going to say, we're playing these games to get ready for our conference. Those are the games, if I were a coach, that I'd want to play to kind of measure myself to see, is my team ready? We'd love to know what you think, and it's easy to do. Just go to www.bucksmontsportsnow.com and to write us, send us a question, a comment, any kind of feedback on what's good, what's bad, what you'd like to see. Again, please let us know, because this is new to us and it's new to you. We'd love to hear from you. Again, www.bucksmontsportsnow.com is the way to do it.
Plus, to stay in tune with your community and for all your information needs, there's 2 websites that cover Bucksmont like no other. It's www.couriertimesnow.com and www.intelligencernow.com. Updated 24 hours a day. It's a continuous news site that covers everything, news and sports and all the goings on in your community. That's Courier Times Now and Intelligencer Now, your one-stop stop for local news. Finally this week, all of us at the Courier Times and the Intelligencer, as well as the rest of the Bucks County and Montgomery County football communities, would like to send our condolences along to the family and friends of Bruce Stansbury. Stansbury was an offensive line coach at Council Rock South High School, and before that at Council Rock when it was under Mike Gordon. Stansbury served as a special education teacher in the Council Rock School District for 24 years, touching the lives of so many kids and making an influence on those forever who needed his help. This year, Council Rock South is 2-0, largely due to Stansbury's offensive line. It is a remarkable testament to the man that he kept going and kept educating right up until the night of his unexpected passing last Friday night. We again express our condolences to his wife, his children, and all those at Council Rock South who undoubtedly will feel this loss greater than any of us can ever imagine. Bruce Stansbury was 51 years old. For all of us at Inside the Huddle, I'm Kevin Coon. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.